Hello and welcome. My name is Alan, and we are back with more justices of the Supreme Court. The look at the United States Supreme Court. We just finished up the Morrison Waite court in the last episode. I know it's been a while since we did the last episode, but yeah, that's where we left off in the last episode. And now, replacing Morrison Waite, we get Melville Fuller, a Chief Justice. Can I extend this a little bit? Anyway, make sure it's still showing. Yeah, we're still showing what we had. Okay. Peckham, Wendell Holmes. I gotta go up, actually. Boom, boom, boom. There we go. Melville Fuller. He would become Chief Justice, having been voted in and confirmed July 20th, 1888. And he would be confirmed by a vote of 41 to 20. So overall, not too much issue with him being voted in. He would serve altogether for 21 years, 269 days, so not too far from being 22 years. But he was the second nomination, the last one for Cleveland in Cleveland's first term, because remember, Grover Cleveland, first president ever to serve one term, not get reelected, and then get elected the next term after that. But anyway, yeah, Fuller would, like I said, he would succeed Morrison Waite and be on the bench for a while, and was originally from Illinois. The next individual that he would get newly for him would be a David J. Brewer, who succeeded Matthews, Stanley Matthews. So Brewer would be originally from Kansas and would get confirmed on December 18th, 1889 by a vote of 53 to 11, and would actually serve 20 full years. So he served almost all the same term as Fuller. But he would be the first nomination to the Supreme Court by Benjamin Harrison. I think that was who we was looking at. Yeah, Harrison. Now, besides Brewer, the next one Fuller would get is a Henry Billings Brown. He was from Michigan and would get confirmed to the court on December the 29th, 1890. And we have an acclamation, which I think just he was guaranteed unanimously. Voted in, or was on the bench 15 years and 143 days, and the second Harrison nominee. But yeah, Henry Billings Brown. Who was it? Miller. Oh, we got someone replacing someone who's way back in there. Yeah. Samuel Freeman Miller. So someone who'd been on there and actually been under a number of Chief Justices, coming in under Taney, served under Chase, under Waite, and Fuller would get into office, but it wouldn't be long before Miller finally passed away. And that's how we get Billings Brown. Next one we would get is a George Shiras Jr. He was from Pennsylvania, and by acclamation was confirmed on July the 26th, 1892. And would serve for 10 years and 136 days, and was also another Benjamin Harrison appointee. He would replace Bradley, a Joseph P. Bradley. So yeah, who had served in the Chase court and the Waite court. So yeah, so he finally passed away under Fuller, and we get Shiras Jr. Then Lucius Cincinnatus Quintus Lamar. I remember that name. L. Lamar would pass away, and Hal Edmonds Jackson would be confirmed to the Supreme Court by acclamation on February 18th, 1893, and he would originally be from Tennessee. But he would only serve a total of 2 years and 157 days. But he would be the last Benjamin Harrison appointee. Now, after Jackson, we get another Associate Justice, Edward Douglas White. He would replace Blatchford. I believe that's a Samuel Blatchford. Yeah, right there. Edward Douglas White was originally from Louisiana and would be confirmed on February 19th, 1894 by acclamation. Let's see. Edward Douglas White was the first Supreme Court Justice assigned by Grover Cleveland in his second term. So yeah, originally from Louisiana, he would serve 16 years and 281 days. When Jackson died on the Supreme Court, Hal Edmund Jackson, he would be replaced by Rufus W. Peckham, who was originally from New York and was confirmed by acclamation to the Supreme Court on December 9th, 1895. He would serve 13 years and 291 days, being Grover Cleveland's last ever appointee. And then, let's see, we would have Joseph McKenna. Who would replace Stephen Johnson Field, who would have finally retired. It wasn't that he died, but he finally retired after being in the seat for 34 years. So Johnson Field would get replaced by Joseph McKenna. He would replace Stephen Field, and he would originally be from California. He would be confirmed to the Supreme Court via acclamation on January 21st, 1898, and would serve a full 26 years and 345 days, almost 27, and would be William McKinley's only appointment to the Supreme Court. But yeah. Then we would get Associate Justice Oliver Wendell Holmes Jr. He would replace Horace Gray. Oliver Wendell Holmes Jr. would be from Massachusetts and be confirmed to the Supreme Court by acclamation on December the 4th, 1902. He would serve for just over 29 years at 29 years and 35 days, and would be the first appointee by Teddy Roosevelt. Then we have William R. Day, who would actually replace George Shiras Jr. And he would originally be from Ohio and be confirmed by acclamation on February 23rd, 1903. Would serve for 19 years and 256 days. So closing in on 20 years. And would be Teddy Roosevelt's second ever appointee. That would be followed up by William Henry Moody, who would replace Henry Billings Brown. And Moody would be originally from Massachusetts, would be confirmed by acclamation to the Supreme Court December the 12th, 1906, but would only serve 3 years and 338 days, almost 4 years, not quite, but would be the last nomination by Teddy Roosevelt. This would bring the next one that would come in would be Associate Justice Horace Harmon Lurton, who would replace Rufus W. Peckham. Lurton was originally from Tennessee and was confirmed by acclamation on December the 20th, 1909, but would only serve 4 years and 204 days. But he would be the very first Supreme Court Justice put on the court by William Howard Taft. Now, the next Associate Justice we would have is Charles Evan Hughes. And he would replace Brewer David J. Brewer. And Charles Evan Hughes was originally from New York and would be confirmed by acclamation on May the 2nd, 1910. He would serve, though, only 5 years and 244 days and would be a William Howard Taft appointee to the court. But that would be the last Associate Justice that would be added under the Fuller Court. So yeah. This is a look at who the justices were that were added on the Fuller Court. We can see a great mix: Illinois, Kansas, Michigan, Pennsylvania, Tennessee, Louisiana, New York, California, Massachusetts, Ohio, Massachusetts, Tennessee, New York. So yeah. All of them, a great mix of states there. But it was essentially Grover Cleveland, Benjamin Harrison, Grover Cleveland again, William McKinley, Teddy Roosevelt, and some William Howard Taft that would be the presidents appointing the Supreme Court justices that would make up the different members of the Fuller Supreme Court. But with that, we're going to go ahead and end this episode here. As always, educate thyself. Think, read, study, learn. Someone tells you something you have trouble believing, ask them to cite their sources. I'll be putting my links and sources in the description box below the video. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you all in the next one. Until then, later.